So hello guys, welcome to EduTap. So in the topper series interview of EPFO EO AO examination, today we have with us Mr. Dikshant, who has secured rank 280 in this examination. So Dikshant, I welcome you at the EduTap and I congratulate from the entire team of on the behalf of entire team of EduTap to achieve this
Thank you.
milestone.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. So Dikshant, how are you feeling now after seeing your results?
Sir, it was a great sigh of relief, and I'm feeling very happy that
Okay.
finally I could find my name in this examination.
Right. So, Dikshant, kindly tell a brief background about you, your educational qualification, your working experience, if you have any.
Sir, my name is Dikshant Manori. Basically, I am from Dehradun, Uttarakhand. Sir, after passing my 12th, I did my BTech in electrical engineering from Govind Ballabh Engineering College, Uttarakhand. Sir, immediately after during my college, I got placed in TCS, but I did not take up that job because I wanted to prepare for GATE and IES examination. I prepared for my technical examination, but I could not achieve the desired result. After that, I shifted my focus towards my state civil services examination, my state pieces examination. And
Okay.
in the course of that preparation, I got to know about the notification of EPFO, and I thought that I should give it a chance because the syllabus was coinciding with my ongoing preparation. Side by side, I was also giving SSC CGL examination, so my maths and English preparation were taken care of. And yes, sir, this is a little brief about myself.
Okay. Okay. So, Dikshant, if we talk about this examination, so you know that this examination had a long process of more than 2.5 years, right? So, did you
Yes, sir.
face any hardship during this entire process of the examination, or how did you keep yourself motivated with respect to this examination?
Yes, sir. Sometimes it was very demoralizing that what could have been done in a few months' time. I think it has taken around 2 years for the whole examination process. But sir, the thing that kept me motivated was first of all, I wasn't solely preparing for this particular examination. So my preparation for other exams were going on in full swing. So I did not give much thought about it. And secondly, sir, it was the COVID situation was really bad at that time. So, it was very understandable that why the process is being delayed. So when you know the intent behind the delay, I think then also you can deal with it. Yes, sir. So my motivation was like I kept my motivation all along through the journey.
And since you were preparing for other examination also, so you were busy in that also, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That were
Right.
my primary examination. Yes, sir.
Right, right. So Dikshant, if we talk about, so there are a few factors which always play a crucial role behind the success of every candidate, right? So what are those three things that helped you to reach there?
So the things that come to my mind right now is first of all, limited resources. I refer to very limited amount of resources. Sir, I did not get lost, I think, in the plethora of resources that are available today. Sir, secondly, I think I was quite focused during my whole preparation. Like even if the exam was delayed twice, but I did not lose my focus, because I knew that eventually the exam would be conducted. So, I was preparing for the D-Day all along. And so third would be that I referred to a lot of mock tests. I think that helped me a lot because the paper was objective, and I think prior practice was necessary for this particular examination. And the syllabus was also a new, like accounts, industrial relation. Like I had no background in the subjects, so prior practice, mock tests. I think they helped me a lot.
Okay. So what do you think, how much overall time is required for the preparation of this examination specifically?
So that depends. Like if you're preparing for civil services or state services, I think most of the GS subjects are taken care of during that preparation. If you're from technical background, then I think no special preparation is required for maths and English also. I think major focus should be on the special subjects, that is accounts, industrial relations, and labor laws. For that, I think the aspirant should put in good amount of effort and should devote most of the preparation time towards completion of those subjects. But I did that. I did that because I had no no knowledge and no background in those subjects. So my major focus was on those special subjects.
Right. So, Dikshant, since you are preparing for civil services also, right? So,
Yes,
in
sir.
that case, if we talk about the component of the of this examination, the syllabus of this examination, so it has around 10 components. So, out of which 60 to 70% syllabus you might have already completed while preparing for
Yes, sir.
civil services, right? So, what about four topics like general accounting principles, IR and labor law, social security? So, how did you prepare these components, which are quite new for you, and they are not the part of the civil services curriculum?
So for those subjects, I referred to a few coaching institute notes, whatever I could lay my hands on. And then, sir, I started with the basics. Like for accounts, I studied 11th, 12th, NCRT. And I even took help from my friends who were from accounts background. And I kept practicing accounts numericals all through it. Like daily, I used to study around like 15, 20 minutes. I made sure that I give it to accounts because you cannot master accounts in a really short span of time, especially if you have no background in it. And similarly for other subjects also, I collected the best possible material that I could get, and did multiple revisions of that.
And if we talk about sources of your preparation, so what were the sources of your preparation?
So for GS subjects, so I referred to standard sources because I was already referring to those sources. Like for modern history, I referred Spectrum, and I was already reading Drishti, IS monthly magazine for current affairs, and various other subjects. So for English and maths, I had given like SSC CGL examination, so I had standard books for that also. Sarvesh Kumar for maths, and um, other books also I was referring. And so for accounts, basically I stuck to NCRT and some other coaching material because I knew that I would not be able to perform really good in that subject because that was not my forte. So my target was to attempt a minimum number of questions. I should not leave the whole paper. If there were like 20 questions from account, so my target was to attempt at least 10 questions so that the overall I could balance it out with other subjects.
Okay.
And similarly for industrial relations and labor laws also, I did refer to some original texts, some original books, but my main source was any coaching material which had like complete syllabus.
Okay. And Dikshant, if we talk about daily study plan, so what was your daily study plan with respect to the syllabus of this examination?
Sir, daily study plan, it was like divided into slots. Like for special subjects, I had to do it like on a daily basis. Accounts, industrial relation, labor laws, because they were new to me. And for other subjects, I used to switch alternatively. Like sometimes I was studying history. Uh, I used to do English and maths only during weekends because I believe I was fairly good in English and maths. So I used to devote only my weekends to that preparation. But the special subjects I used to do on a daily basis because they were new. And the rest, GS also I was doing for other examinations. So that was not much of a problem. I could like easily manage. I believe this is one of the exams which you can easily manage with other examinations, I feel.
Right. And Dikshant, current affairs always play a crucial role in any examination. So, what was your strategy with respect to current affairs for this examination? So, did you refer multiple notes, or did you refer any single source for the preparation of current affairs?
So for current affairs, even before this examination, I was already studying Drishti IS monthly magazines. That was my one go source for current affairs. I think it's fairly comprehensive and it covers all the components of current affairs. And for this particular examination, I think I focused more on government schemes because there are invariably questions, especially pertaining to government schemes. I think more focus should be given to government schemes, and I think current affairs catering to like social sector or economics, I think the aspirant can be more focused on those particular current affairs. So that was my strategy to cover current affairs section.
Okay. So Dikshant, if we talk about this examination, so it had a cycle of more than 2.5 years, as we have already discussed. So how did
Yes,
you
sir.
manage your revision component? Because whenever exam approaches, we revise the things, whatever we have read over the period of time. So how did you revise the thing? How did you revise the entire component, and what was your strategy? Did you make any short notes, or did you have any highlighted notes, or what was the strategy with respect to the revision component?
So for GS purpose, I did not make separate notes, but I highlighted in my standard books,
Okay.
as I have a habit of highlighting. For special subject, I did try to make micro notes, like accounts, and for industrial relation and for labor laws. I made micro notes and I used to revise them every time I used to give any mock or even before the real examination. And so for government schemes also, I made micro notes because EPFO has a habit of asking very minute and detailed questions related to schemes, and you can't just simply remember them by just glancing through it. You have to make multiple revisions of that. So for particular subjects or particular components, I used to make micro notes, and for the rest, standard books were okay.
Okay.
So that was my way of revising.
And what about test series? So did you refer any test series, mock test before your actual examination?
Yes, sir. That was the one component I think which I did extensively. I must have done at least 3, 4 coaching institute tests.
Okay.
And whenever there was like any free test conducted by any coaching institute, be it EduTap, so I used to appear in that and see where I am, where what rank am I getting,
Right.
how am I doing with service other aspirants. That I used to do regularly, test
Okay.
series component.
So Dikshant, if we talk about the syllabus, so which component you find most difficult for you during the preparation of this examination?
Sir, accounts, like
Okay.
I had a really tough time dealing with the subject because I had no knowledge in it, and I think account is not an easy subject.
Right.
uh, it's a very detailed subject, and the questions, if you see in the examination, if you study the previous year questions also, they're asking questions from 11, 12, BCom, MCom, and some CA level questions also. They do ask. So I think for that, I think I had to like religiously do, and take help, external help also. I've taken coaching also, only for accounts, because I think that was I found it difficult to complete the whole syllabus.
Okay. So this was about the recruitment tests. Now, if we talk about the interview, so there are many areas which can be asked in the interview itself. Like it can be HR, it can be current affairs, it can be an organization for which you are appearing, or it can be the theoretical component of your syllabus. So what were the areas that were covered in your interview?
So my interview was, yes, sir. I think interview is the most unpredictable part of the whole examination cycle, and especially when we hear that UPSC itself is conducting interview, the fear is escalates. And this was my first interview actually. I haven't appeared in any interview before, so I was fairly nervous before the interview. And I think my main focus was on covering every aspect of my DAF. So because at that time I had to prepare for my state mains examination, so I could not take any external help, but I did it like on my own. I prepared question on my own, and I tried to cover every possible thing. Like I even prepared my basic electrical engineering because I was anticipating that some questions might be asked. But my interview like was on expected lines. It was very cordial, and it was more of a discussion. It was more of a discussion rather than a question answer writing session. The board members were very cordial. They made me very comfortable, and I think they asked me question from, I guess, everything under the sun, like from my state, from where I did my college, from some questions were from electrical engineering also, some questions were on GST, EPFO. I think everything they could come up with. Current affairs also, they asked me about Sri Lanka crisis and Agniveer. I mean, everything was covered in the interview. It was a very enriching experience, to say the least.
Okay.
And I left the board with a good feeling.
Okay. So Dikshant, how many members were there in your interview panel, and what was the duration of your interview?
So they were like 5 members, including the chairman.
Okay.
And because we were not allowed to take the watch with us, but I think it lasted for around maybe 20, 22 minutes. 20, 22 minutes it must have lasted. Like there was one round of questions and another second round of questions. So yeah, it must have been lasted around 20 to 22 minutes.
Okay. So, Dikshant, sometimes being a interview candidate, we do not know the answer, whatever is asked from the interview panel, right? But still, what should be the strategy with respect to these conditions? Whether we should say, sorry, sir, I do not know the answer, or we should try to make a blind guess. So, what should be the strategy with respect to these kind of situations?
Sir, I would advise against making a blind guess because the board members are very knowledgeable person and they will make out if you are taking a blind guess. Even if you want to make a guess, I think you should ask permission before the board before making a guess. I had watched some mock interviews on YouTube, so I was very clear about like if I didn't know the answer, I would just say sorry. I will only take guess if the board allows me to take a guess on if the question is like that you can make some educated guess only. Otherwise, I faced some questions and I said sorry if I felt that I was not armed with enough knowledge to answer that question. It is always better to say sorry than to make a blind guess because that would leave a very bad impression among the board members if you take a guess, I think.
Okay. So what according to you are they looking for?
Yeah, it's a really difficult thing. I don't know. Maybe I think it depends on the post also. What post you're appearing for the interview? I think they have certain standards. I think which they are looking for, and I think the the board members see. I think your overall personality, not just your knowledge. I think how calm you are during the whole process. Um, are you are not taking blind guesses, and you're honest with your answers. And whatever you've studied, you've studied properly. I think they just want to know that. That is why I think they regularly ask questions about your graduation subjects also because they want to make sure like if you've given 3 to 4 years of your life to a particular field, so they expect you to know something about that. So I think whatever you've studied honestly, and whatever you know, you're confident about it. I think that candidate would easily pass with flying colors.
Okay. So Dikshant, did you refer any particular source for interview preparation?
No, sir, I could not. I wanted to. I was like seeing on Telegram, and everybody was attending like mock interviews, also going to Delhi. But I was busy with my preparation, so I could not do it. I prepared it on my own. Uh, so I prepared only my DAF portion and everything related to that. And I used to see some mock interviews on YouTube. Also, through that, I uh, went ahead with my preparation for interview. No special preparation was done for the interview.
Okay. So Dikshant, what message would you like to give to the future aspirants?
Sir, I would like to say, please limit your sources. Be thorough with the syllabus. If you don't hesitate in taking help, I think if you think you can't do a particular subject on your own, like I was not able to do accounts or industrial relation or labor law, I think you should not be reluctant in taking help, even if you have to refer some other coaching institute notes or you have to refer to a teacher or you can take some guidance from a friend. I think you should be open to that. Don't be rigid. I think in your preparation, revise multiple times. And especially for the interview, I believe you cannot prepare for the interview in a really short span of time. I think uh, in interview, your personality that you've built all over the years, whatever you've learned from anybody, be it your school, college, or your friends, I think that should reflect. So I think it's a very comprehensive preparation. You should not like slot it down into zones and all, and I think that would suffice according to
Okay.
me.
So thank you very much, Dikshant, for sharing your strategy with us. So that will definitely help to the future aspirant. And thank you very much for giving the precious time. So I, on behalf of Team EduTap, congratulate you again, once again, and wish you all the very best for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you
Thank you.
so much. And
Okay.
I wish all the future aspirants good luck with their
Okay.
respective exams.
Thank you, Dikshant.
Okay, sir.